I want to thank Tom Yo and the Family Peace Forum for inviting me to be here today. And as a crime and violence prevention consultant, I'm happy to share information with you on how to keep kids safe in an unsafe world. It is critical for the future to put our children first. You don't have to be a perfect parent to raise great children. Most parents are doing a good job of raising young people to be responsible. Every child is born, and they're not a blank slate. They are born with imagination, creativity, insights, instincts, intuition to see without inner knowing, and a self-protective conscience to keep them safe and healthy. So they have all these tools already within them. I used to warn my children about predators in the park. Now I warn my grandchildren that predators are in your home. I interviewed an FBI agent on my podcast, and he said, I limit time my children on their computer, and only if an adult is home. Parents need to talk to children and take steps to protect them from the social media on iPhones, as well as computers. Predators are where your unsuspecting children feel safe. American statistics tell us 79% of children are exposed to porn by age 11. Suicide rates among children 5 to 11 years old are increasing at an alarming rate. Teen suicide is the second leading cause of death, and 20% of high school students are thinking about suicide, with 9% making an attempt to commit suicide. Those are scary statistics. Here are some ideas to consider. Remove a computer in your child's bedroom and remove all cell phones at night, and keep computers in a well-trafficked area of the home. Keep children or grandchildren we want to help children and grandchildren discover their own inner power. They already have this power. In order to keep them safe, and have a listening time for each child to improve family communication and build stronger bonds of trust. Now, it's up to all of us to empower children so they don't keep secrets and go down a self-destructive path. I have here a chart, and this is the spiritually centered child in the middle. And this one is the spiritually centered child. The blue is the sensitive child, or I call them the pincushion child. And the red is the bully child. The spiritually centered child doesn't put up with bullies, and they don't become weak. They're strong enough. So these two, the bully and the sensitive child, are attracted to each other. So your mission as a parent should be to help your child become spiritually centered within themselves so they don't become a bully or a victim. The goal of every parent should be to help children become spiritually centered. We talk about bullies and mental health problems, but we seldom discuss sensitive pincushion kids who are the most vulnerable. And those are the children that we really need to make sure they become stronger. It is critical that parents empower their children. Number one, teach children as young as 5 years old to respect their bodies and listen to their instincts. If they don't feel safe or someone touches them in an area covered by a bathing suit, they must speak up, yell, run away, and tell a trusted adult. Number one. Number two, tell children about grooming. That's a new word in our vocabulary. There are evil people on the internet who try to gain a child's trust so they can violate a child's sexual boundaries. Watch a video on YouTube called Groomed. It's on YouTube and it's called Groomed. Number 3, tell young children or young people, don't keep secrets, as they can cause emotional distress and disrupt mental stability. Let children know they are always able to call you as the parent, and you will be willing to listen and not blame or get angry. Number 4, encourage children to listen to their God-given self-protective instincts to decide which adults to hug and kiss. Children need to be encouraged to trust their instincts. Trust their instincts. They already have it within them. And children need to be encouraged to do that for a simple reason that helps to protect them. Most child sex abusers are people the child already knows. Number 5, explain to preteens and teenagers that kings would only marry a virgin bride. The reason is kings knew that sex was a spiritual bonding that ensured that the bride's loyalty to the king. The more sexual partners individuals have, the less likely they are to bond with one person. That starts a breakdown within the family. Number 6, encourage youth to listen to their instincts and to evaluate a person's motives. If it doesn't feel right and they don't feel safe, pay attention. Beware that people on the wrong path want to feel right, so they try to normalize self-destructive behavior. Sex is a spiritual bonding. That is why sexual partners stay together when they are mentally, physically, or verbally hurting each other. Depending on age, number 7, youth need to understand the cycle of abuse. The first cycle in the cycle of abuse is the honeymoon stage. The second is the tension stage. And then the acute anger toward the victim, and then the explosion of violence. And then we're back in the cycle, the makeup stage. And then that cycle starts all over again. If anybody is in that cycle, they're in a very dangerous situation. So educate your children about the cycle of violence. Number 8, caring young people like to help their friends. Okay, that's a good thing. Let them know that they can't save anyone on drugs or on a self-destructive path if they are unwilling to become self-aware and get help. Leave the relationship to protect themselves. Number 9, if someone tries to bully you into sex, stand up for yourself and tell them you will report them to their parents or perhaps authority or to a school administrator. Don't accept any bullying behavior. Number 10, advise youth to know a person's character. Very important. Before committing to a dating relationship, abuse is never about respect or love. Parents should work with and evaluate a child's behavior. Is your child emotionally centered? Can your child remain calm if bullied? Are they strong enough to prevent becoming a victim? If so, you have the emotional tools to help them protect themselves. Number 11, talk to your child about age-appropriate sexual differences and respecting everyone. Ask questions about what they are learning at school, and is it about sex? If concerned, talk to your friends and discuss it with a teacher or if you have a school board, talk to them. The moral foundation of a nation affects future generations. The most important teachers are a child's parents, grandparents, or guardians. Teach children to think for themselves and before they make any life-changing decisions. Young people will thank you when they understand the power of spiritual and emotional sex. It is up to all of us to speak up and let children know they are not powerless. Our kids are very powerful. Learn how to handle anger and stay centered, and you will not be bullied, humiliated, or abused by another person. You will progress and in a very healthy way. We are either moving up and making progress or moving down and looking for self-gratification and often end up socially isolated. Be concerned if your child is becoming socially isolated or a loner. Children who have been abused, neglected, or controlled can become future kids that commit crime and violence. Anger pulls us down and can lead to excess alcohol or drug abuse. We have an epidemic of socially isolated children who have developed mental health problems. Children are not powerless, as I said before. The problems is that many adults neglect to empower children so they know how to stay emotionally centered and develop the 3 C's: courage, character, and a self-protective conscience. Children need to be involved with a supportive family, caring neighbors, and involved in the community. They also need to know they have the inner power to thrive. Let's help children focus on developing good relationships, being actively involved, and helping others. Real power comes from within, which is self-care and learning how to stay spiritually centered. We all, including teens, have that inner power to protect ourselves and our families so that we can stay safe and healthy in an unsafe world. Thank you very much.